Welcome to The Explainer. We're looking at a world that is absolutely teetering on the edge. From the front lines in South Asia to the invisible war being fought online, the whole idea of what conflict even means, it's changing right before our eyes. This month, a bunch of different events are all connected, and they're seriously testing the global balance of power. And today, we're going to break it all down. Oh, and you're going to want to stay till the end because I'm going to reveal some truly shocking things in this explainer. All right, let's get back to it. First up, a story about high-stakes deception. We're talking about a supposed peace deal between the US and Iran, with Pakistan playing the hero broker. But it all unravels to show a tragic, fatal mistake. Then, we're diving into the race for technological dominance. The Indian Navy is rolling out a pretty revolutionary drone concept that could change everything at sea, right as Iran is making a bold power play in one of the world's most critical oil passages. And finally, we'll get into the new reality of what it means to defend a nation. From a full-blown propaganda war in Manipur to alarms ringing all across Europe, the need to be constantly vigilant on every single level has never, ever been more critical. Let's dive in. So, our first stop is India, which right now is in the middle of a hybrid war. A conflict that isn't just fought with guns and bombs, but with clicks, posts, and propaganda. It's a challenge to their security on the ground and online. On the ground, a major crisis was just stopped in its tracks. A really sharp, coordinated operation between Punjab police and central agencies took down a terror module backed by Pakistan's ISI. Now, what's really alarming here is the sheer reach of this network. Yeah, most of the arrests happened in Punjab, but a key player was caught hundreds of miles away in Dissect, Gujarat. This shows us the ISI is changing its playbook, trying to build these sprawling, states-crossing networks to cause chaos, and their main targets, police stations. And if there was any doubt about where this threat was coming from, the evidence just erases it. The hand grenades they seized have clear, unmistakable markings from the Pakistan Ordnance Factory, or POF. This isn't just a hunch. It's a direct, undeniable link to the Pakistani state. It's the smoking gun, the kind of hard proof that changes the entire conversation on the world stage. But look, this physical threat, that's only half the story. While this attack was being planned in Punjab with actual explosives and grenades, a whole other offensive, a digital one, was being launched against Manipur. Pakistani propaganda accounts were flooding social media with pure disinformation. Fake stories about the governor's house being torched, false reports of police forces being captured. They take real local tragedies and twist them to create chaos and mistrust. It just proves that modern war is fought just as hard on your social media feed as it is in the streets. So, from dealing with these immediate dangers, we're now going to shift to how nations are preparing for the wars of tomorrow. We're looking at a huge technological leap that could completely redefine who rules the waves in the Indo-Pacific, a truly groundbreaking drone concept from the Indian Navy. It's called REARM-D, that stands for Rearming by Drone at Sea. Now, in a naval battle, a ship's biggest weakness is something called downtime. See, when a warship runs out of missiles, it has to sail all the way back to port to get more. That can take days, sometimes weeks, and it leaves a massive hole in your defenses. REARM-D is designed to completely get rid of that problem by using heavy-duty drones to reload warships right there in the middle of the ocean. So how would this actually work? Well, picture this. You've got a carrier battle group on high alert. A little ways behind it, there's a supply ship. A massive drone lifts off that supply ship, carrying a new missile. It zips over to the warship, hovers perfectly still, even if the seas are rough, and then uses a precision winch to lower that missile right into its launch tube. This is a total game changer. It means warships can stay in the fight, fully loaded and always ready. And just to give you an idea of the engineering challenge here, think about the power this thing needs. The drone has to be able to lift a payload of over 900 kilograms. I mean, that's basically the weight of a small car. To build a drone that strong, with the kind of pinpoint accuracy needed to operate on a moving ship, well, that's not just an upgrade, that's a revolution in naval logistics. Okay, so let's shift gears. We're moving from the future of war to the very messy, very high-stakes present in the Middle East. It's a place where tricky diplomacy, outright deception, and a raw quest for dominance are creating some seriously dangerous situations. For weeks, the media in Pakistan was painting their prime minister as a global peacemaker, this incredible statesman who managed to get the US and Iran to agree to a ceasefire. But then, Western media outlets started digging, and the reality, well, it was a lot less glamorous. Pakistan wasn't some master negotiator. They were just a courier, a message delivery boy. And the proof? Oh, it was a classic embarrassing slip-up. A version of the Prime Minister's big announcement was accidentally posted with the words "Draft Pakistan PM message on X" still attached. It just laid it all bare. The message wasn't his. It had been drafted, or at the very least, signed off on by the White House. The US doesn't have direct diplomatic lines to Iran, so they were just using Pakistan to pass notes. And this is where the story goes from just being embarrassing to downright tragic. The message that Pakistan delivered was wrong. It incorrectly said the ceasefire also applied to Lebanon. The US and Israel immediately said, no, that's not right, but the damage was already done. That confusion created a false sense of security on the ground in southern Lebanon, and in the hours that followed, attacks continued and over 250 people were killed, a devastating human cost for a diplomatic blunder. At the exact same time, Iran is making its own power move. They've basically turned the Strait of Hormuz, the waterway that carries almost 20% of the entire world's oil, into a toll road. Reports are saying Iran is now charging a $1 per barrel toll for any ship that wants to pass through safely. And they're supposedly demanding payment in crypto to get around sanctions. This is economic warfare, and it's exactly why futuristic ideas like REARM-D are so important, so navies can stay on station and push back against this kind of pressure. All right, let's zoom out one last time and head to Europe, where the long-held belief in post-Cold War peace is just crumbling away, putting the entire continent on edge. I mean, the language coming from top military leaders has become incredibly blunt. Listen to this quote from France's top general, Fabien Mandin. It's chilling. He flat out told his parliament that a war with Russia is his primary concern. In response, France is now pushing for a massive boost in defense spending. It's a huge strategic shift as European countries are waking up to the idea that they might actually have to defend themselves. And that brings us full circle, right back to India, where this need for constant, unwavering vigilance in a chaotic world is something they understand deeply. The lessons of the past are very much shaping the strategies of today. You can see it in how India's leadership is responding. They're not waiting around. The Army Chief, General Dwivedi, is getting his forces ready for what he calls multi-domain operations, and has even created a new psychological defense division, a direct answer to the kind of online warfare we saw in Manipur. At the same time, the Navy Chief, Admiral Tripathi, confirms they are watching the Middle East conflict like a hawk, analyzing every little detail to make sure India's defense is, as he put it, future-proof. But this spirit of being prepared, of being vigilant, it's not new. It was forged in history. Today actually marks Shaurya Divas, or Valor Day, which honors one of the most incredible battles in the nation's history, the Battle of Sardar Post in 1965. Just think about these odds. A Pakistani brigade of 3,500 soldiers launched a surprise attack on a post that was defended by just 150 CRPF soldiers. The odds were a mind-boggling 23-1, but those defenders didn't break. They fought with unbelievable courage, beat back the assault, and forced the entire invading brigade to retreat in humiliation. It's that legacy, that spirit, that fuels India's resolve today. And that leaves us with a really critical question. As war keeps evolving, moving from the physical battlefield to the digital browser, what's going to matter more? The timeless lessons of courage we saw at Sardar Post, or the cutting-edge tech of things like REARM-D? The real answer is probably both. The future is being written as we speak. To stay on top of all these developments, make sure you subscribe to this channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for joining The Explainer.